Whether you see him as a spiritual father, a world leader, or just a man in white robes, the Pope holds one of the most unique positions in human history. But where did this role come from? And why does he matter so much in the Catholic Church? Today we're diving into the incredible story of the papacy, from St. Peter to Pope Francis. The story begins in the 1st century AD with St. Peter, one of Jesus' 12 apostles. According to Catholic tradition, Peter was the first bishop of Rome, which makes him the first pope. Jesus is believed to have said, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." From that moment, the Church has viewed the Bishop of Rome as the spiritual successor to Peter. At first, these early popes were simple leaders of small Christian communities, often persecuted under the Roman Empire. But after Christianity became legal under Emperor Constantine in the 4th century, things started to change. Fast. By the Middle Ages, the Pope wasn't just a religious figure. He was a political powerhouse. Popes crowned kings, led armies, and even excommunicated emperors. The Church had its own lands, the Papal States, and ruled much like a kingdom. Popes like Gregory the Great and Innocent III expanded the Church's influence across Europe. During this time, the Pope was seen as the ultimate spiritual authority. If you were Catholic, and most of Europe was, then the Pope was considered Christ's representative on earth. But the Pope's authority hasn't always gone unchallenged, from the outside or even from within the Church. One of the most bizarre moments in papal history happened in the 14th century, when the Pope left Rome altogether. For nearly 70 years, the papacy was based not in Rome, but in Avignon, France. 7 popes ruled from there, heavily influenced by the French crown. Many Catholics across Europe saw this as corrupt, calling it the Babylonian captivity of the Church. When the papacy finally returned to Rome, things only got messier. In 1378, a second pope was elected in Avignon, while the Roman pope still claimed the title. Europe was now split between 2 popes, and later, 3. This chaos became known as the Western Schism. Imagine being a Catholic back then. 2 popes, both claiming to be the true voice of God. It wasn't until 1417 that the schism ended with the election of Pope Martin V, restoring unity. But the damage to the Church's reputation was deep. Even as Europe fractured, the Pope remained a global religious leader. But the days of political control were ending. In 1870, the Papal States were taken by the new Italian government, and the Pope lost all secular power. In 1929, the Vatican became its own independent country, and the Pope regained sovereignty, this time as a purely spiritual leader. Modern popes focus on issues like peace, poverty, and interfaith dialogue. Pope John Paul II helped end communism in Eastern Europe. Pope Benedict XVI emphasized tradition, and the late Pope Francis, the most recent pope, was known for his humble style, progressive tone, and global outreach. Today, the Pope leads over 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide. He's a symbol of faith, unity, and continuity, stretching back nearly 2,000 years. Whether you're religious or not, the history of the Pope is the story of one of the most enduring and influential institutions in human history. Thanks for watching. Comment your thoughts below, and if you want to explore more religious history or ancient secrets, conspiracies, and what-if scenarios, hit that subscribe button.